Go ahead and mark your calendars because the Broncos 2019 schedule is out. Hello from inside the Broncos Media Center. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer and Steve Atwater. Guys, I don't know about you, but I got the Broncos going 16-0.
That's what Steve's got.
Phil, you taking my stuff, man?
No, I just went through the schedule.
I said that the last 2 years we're going 16-0.
Sorry, I didn't.
It's all good. It's all good.
Broncos starting on the road for the first time since 2010 at Oakland.
And it could be the last time we see the Raiders in the Oakland Coliseum. Steve, I know you're not going to be, shedding too many tears about having to go back to Oakland, but there is going to be some historic kind of tint to it when we go there.
Yeah, I think so. And, the draft is coming up here a little over a week, and we'll get a chance to see what that new team out there is going to be like, how to have a lot of draft picks. It's going to be a great game on the road, last game in the Coliseum. Keep our fingers crossed for that.
Hey, we've been saying that the last couple of years, so we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's the last game of opening weekend too. That second game of the doubleheader on Monday Night Football on ESPN, and then the next week, Broncos opening up at home against a team Vic Fangio is very familiar with.
I mean, how poetic. The Chicago Bears coming to town. We've talked a lot about Ed Donatel, the fact that he and Vic Fangio both going to be playing their former teams. Bryce Callahan going up against his old guys. I think it's going to be a big test for Vic because it's going to be not only his first home game as the head coach of the Denver Broncos, but just the familiarity there, I think, is going to make for some interesting storylines.
Yeah, I think that's going to be extremely interesting. I think the players are going to be excited to play one another. Of course, Von Miller and you got Khalil Mack out there. That'll be a battle in itself, and it's going to be a fun game. And I hope that they don't remember too much of what Vic Fangio did when he was there with the Bears. But, again, it should be a fun game, and I'm sure Vic Fangio is looking forward to playing against this team as well.
Raiders, Bears, Packers, Jaguars for the month of September. A very tough month, but Joe Flacco, for his career, 25-12 in the month of September. So a pretty good winning percentage if you got some tough games early.
A good start is very important. The Broncos' last three matchups with the Bears, all decided by 3 points or less. So we know that's going to be a tough battle. And then, like you mentioned there, Matt, going on the road to Green Bay. I know that's one that fans might be interested in traveling to.
You're going to get some cheese curds?
Yeah, exactly. Some bratwurst. That's the big food trip.
Some bratwurst. Exactly. This NFC North is going to be pretty tough, Steve. I think that, the fact that you got the Bears and Packers early, but then you got the Vikings and Lions late, some unfamiliar opponents. Again, the balance to this schedule is intriguing, but those are some tough teams in a tough division.
Yeah, I do like the balance, though, how it's kind of spread out. When I looked at it initially and I saw both the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers early, I was like, oh, man, I really was hoping that we would be able to see the NFC North a little later, give our guys a chance to really fully digest this offensive and defensive system. So when we got to them, we'd be ready to go because I'm sure they're going to be fired up, ready to play against Vic Fangio, who's been in the NFC North here for the last several years.
Yeah, and at least the weather is going to be nice in Green Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully week 3. The Broncos have never won at Green Bay. 0-5-1 all-time at Green Bay. The one tie was played in Milwaukee. But we all remember that last time that they played the Packers. That was 2015 at home, electric Sunday night atmosphere, held Aaron Rodgers to just 77 yards passing.
Yeah, the famous DeMarcus Ware sack,
exactly,
rather, the safety in the end zone. A great night, Steve. You remember that night well too, because you had
the reunion,
the reunion tour there.
Yeah, that was a big night for me personally and for the team. It was a big win, and hopefully we can get that same type of thing going in Green Bay.
Exactly. You guys talked about the balance of the schedule. The Broncos, for the second year in a row, have the bye week on week 10. But following that bye week, they have 4 out of 5 on the road.
Yeah, not easy. The Vikings, Bills, get Chargers at home, but then you go right back on the road for the Texans and the Chiefs. And those are long road trips too, Steve. Going all the way to Minnesota, coming back, and then going to Buffalo. Those are tough trips.
Yeah, and we're hoping that after the bye week, hopefully we're going to be 10-0. Sorry, 9-0.
Right.
So yeah,
and going in those games, that's going to be a rough stretch, I think, on the road. Again, those two NFC North teams, Buffalo Bills looking great with Josh Allen. The Chargers are always tough. Man, that's going to be a tough stretch right there. That's going to be the stretch I think that really sets the stage for if we're able to make a run into the playoffs.
A lot of great quarterbacks. You've got Kirk Cousins, you've got Josh Allen, Phillip Rivers, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and then you've got Matthew Stafford at home in Week 16. It's a very, very tough slate.
And the last time the Broncos were in Minnesota, 2011, Matt Prater hit 2 field goals in the last 2 minutes of that game.
Yes.
So that was that wild stretch with Tim Tebow. And then some other wild games there in Minnesota. Steve, I'm sure you remember in '96 when Ed McCaffrey caught that pass that was tipped around.
Man, yeah, that was awesome, man. And fortunately, we were able to win that football game. We didn't get to the Super Bowl that year, but we had a heck of a season.
Yeah, that was some crazy games there in Minnesota. Only 2 times on national television this year for the Broncos. What do you guys think about that?
Surprising.
That could change, though. I mean, if you look at the back end, so some of these games towards the end of the season can get flexed. But if you look at the back end, the Chiefs in Week 15 on December the 15th, I mean, if the Broncos and Chiefs are kind of vying for a divisional spot or a playoff spot, I think that's one that you can kind of circle as to say, okay, that one might be a big-time game and have some playoff implications if the Broncos are indeed in the hunt.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, what do you got them at 14-0? Maybe locking up the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Also, I think that Cleveland Browns game, that's going to be a very good game. Hoping that will be able to be broadcast all across the country.
Yeah, maybe on national television there too. Broncos fans lucky they get to see Baker Mayfield twice in 2 years. So counting their fortunes there, getting to see some of the bigger names in the NFL this season. All right, those are our big takeaways from the Broncos season. 2 national games, playing the Bears early, opening with the Oakland Raiders on Monday Night Football. And plus, I think we all have them going 16-0.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
You do too, man?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you guys won me.
Just had to hear it.
Unanimous.
There we go. All right.
All right, that's going to do it for us. For Steve Atwater, Matt Boyer, I'm Phil Milani.